This is the second lesson of the Nouns and Adjectives course from Arabic with Amina. Today we are going to be talking about the noun genders. In this lesson, we are going to discuss what are the noun genders, what is the feminine gender, how to identify feminine nouns, what is the masculine gender and how to identify it, and what are the nouns that can be feminine or masculine. Finally, we'll talk about how you can change nouns from the masculine form to the feminine. First, let's discuss what noun genders are. We've touched upon this in the last lesson, so you already know that there are two genders in Arabic, masculine and feminine. The noun genders can usually be determined by their form or by knowing the meaning, but that's not always the case. For example, meaning mother. Mothers are female, so obviously the noun for it will be feminine. However, take dar for example. It means house. It doesn't have a ta marbuta, and by looking at the noun, there's nothing from its form that indicates that it is feminine. Dar is feminine though. So if you wanted to say a beautiful house, and you said dar jamil, that'd be incorrect. The correct sentence would be dar jamila, a beautiful house, because dar is feminine. There are a few nouns which can be either feminine or masculine, and we'll get to these at the end of the lesson. Now let's take a look on how you can identify feminine nouns so your sentences are correct. Feminine nouns have specific traits that can help you identify their gender. These traits are, first, the form. Any noun ending in ta marbuta, such as haya, life, madrasa, school, tawila, table, these end with ta marbuta. So you can see, just by looking at it, that this noun is a feminine noun. The other ending that indicates that the noun is feminine is alif hamza. An example of this would be sahra, meaning desert, kibriya, meaning pride, or aliya, which is a girl's name. The last ending that indicates feminine nouns is ya maqsura. An example of this would be dhikra, meaning remembrance, asa, meaning sorrow, or untha, meaning female. An exception to ya maqsura being feminine is Yahya, which is a boy's name. Another way to identify the feminine noun is by meaning. Nouns that are female in meaning will be feminine, such as bint, meaning girl, imra'a, meaning woman, or ukht, meaning sister. All of these nouns represent females, so the noun is feminine. The next way to identify feminine nouns, and this is related to the previous way, is words that are feminine by convention. Any name of countries, cities, villages, or towns, that is geological locations, are feminine. An example of this would be Egypt, Misr, and Aden, Adan. Misr is a country and Adan is a city. So these nouns are feminine. The next group of nouns that are feminine by convention are the paired parts of the bodies. Any part of the body that you have two of, such as your hands, your ears, your eyes, these would be feminine nouns in Arabic. For example, udhn, ear, ayn, eye, and yed, hand. Lastly, we have some nouns that are feminine without an apparent reason. For example, dar, nar, ard, shams, nafs, harb, and rih. These are all nouns that are feminine, but they don't have a ta marbuta. They're not one of the nouns that are feminine by convention, and their meaning doesn't indicate that they're feminine. Okay, now let's move on to the nouns that are masculine and how to identify them. Any noun that isn't feminine is masculine. For example, bab. Bab, meaning door, doesn't have a feminine meaning. Its form doesn't indicate it is feminine, so therefore is masculine. The next example is kursi, chair, and barid, male. There are a few nouns that can be either feminine or masculine, and it's up to you to choose which one you want to use. Our color coding for this group of nouns will be purple. For example, tariq, meaning way or road. Sulam, meaning ladder. And suq, meaning market. To make the idea clearer, let's make a sentence. We'll use these words from our word bank to create the sentence, the market is crowded. And if you don't know how to make a sentence yet, don't worry, we'll get to that in the next lesson. So, the market is crowded could be السوق مزدحم. And this sentence is grammatically correct. We could also say السوق مزدحمة. And here we used the feminine adjective. Again, this sentence is also correct. You can use the masculine form or the feminine form, and both will be correct. Some nouns, not all nouns, can be converted from the masculine form to the feminine form. These are nouns that can be used to refer to a male or a female, such as the nouns of profession, such as doctor, or nationalities, such as Syrian. This change occurs by adding a ta marbuta to the end of the word. For example, here we have tabib, which means male doctor. By adding a ta marbuta to the end, it becomes tabiba, meaning female doctor. Also, Suri, meaning Syrian. We can add a ta marbuta to the end, making it Suriya, which is Syrian, but referring to a female. Now it's time to put your knowledge to the test. Here we have 3 Arabic nouns and their meanings. It's up to you to determine whether these nouns are feminine or masculine. Put your answer in the comments below. And that concludes our lesson for today. There is a worksheet available for this lesson at arabicwithamina.com. The link is in the description below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends.